All right, welcome to the One Life, One Chance podcast. I'm your host, Toby Morse. Today I have a very, very special guest. I'm so happy to have this man in my kitchen, Mr. Tim Howe. I said your name right?
Of course you did.
I'm so psyched to have you. I did a crazy deep dive on you, and I've hung with you a bunch of times, and I had no idea that you have Tourette's or OCD. I never even knew that shit. So I did such a deep dive on you and all the stuff you've done to support people with that.
Yep.
It's amazing. So I'm so excited to talk to you. Thanks for being here.
I appreciate it. That's what it's all about. I'm glad you did a deep dive. Education is everything, man.
Yeah, I didn't even know you had that. It's so crazy, man. So how are you? Good?
I'm amazing. It's good to be in LA. I don't get out too often.
I know you don't really.
No.
You've been here. You've been here in a minute. Yeah. So you were let's go back to New Brunswick, New Jersey. I didn't even know you're from New Jersey either.
Yep.
It's crazy. You're born and raised there.
It's a good place, man. Jersey's got something in the water over there.
So you were there most of your childhood?
I was there till I was 23, and then I moved to England.
That's right.
I was in England 13 years. Brilliant. I love it. Great country.
Yeah, England's amazing. How long were you okay, let's go to your school. So I know your parents divorced when you were young, correct? Mm-hmm. And then you were diagnosed in 6th grade with Tourette's and OCD. And so how do you even know you have something like that? What kind of signs? Do you remember the signs?
Yeah, it's interesting because it's one of these things where it's so visible. It's not something you can hide. It's not like a little scar on your arm that you could just put a shirt over. So it was more. I was an active kid. I played a lot of sports. So it was more for my mom. She's looking at me like something going on with my son here, and this isn't normal. And we got to figure this out. For me, I was just an active kid, loving life, had great friends, played sports, and and so obviously I knew something was up. I was with Tourette syndrome. There's tics and twitches and the motor skills and some of it's verbal as well. And she's like, we got this is for all the kids listening. This is before the internet. This is before iPhones, right? So she went to this place called the library and has books, and she just and she just started reading and started deep diving into.
You couldn't Google shit.
No, and so more like a self-diagnosis. Once she got a grasp of that, then took me to some medical professionals, doctors, people who specialized in that field, and we got a diagnosis. And again, for me, as this young 9-10-year-old, it's like, all right, cool. It's a weird name that I can't really spell, and I think it's a French word, and whatever, Mom, like cool. But for her, it gave her peace of mind, and but for me, I was like, I'm going to be a kid, and I thankfully had an amazing childhood. Yeah,
and is it Tourette's in the sense where you're spouting off things, or is there a different?
Yeah, so Hollywood has you believe that it's all about cursing and that, and there is a part of that, but that's only 4% of the Tourette syndrome population, who have that particular one. More, it's tics and twitches, and sometimes it's clearing of the throat, movement of body parts, rolling of the eyes, neck movement. So all things that you would expect to have when it comes to when you think of TS, but it's not always how it's depicted in the movies.
Yeah, and once you get diagnosed with that, does that change anything? Now you find out you have this. Does it how you move or how kids know about it? You know what I mean? As a young kid.
Yeah. So I've met so many. We have a program called Howard's Heroes, and we're starting a foundation, the Tim Howard Foundation, and it's going to be to obviously enrich the lives of the less privileged. Certainly children with TS and associated disorders, and it's just about self-advocating, right? Because you have to get out in the world, and you have to talk to people about it. I meet so many young kids who say, I stood up in front of the class the first day and I told them what it was, and I gave this little, and I said, man, that's powerful, because when I was in school, I was too afraid to tell people what it was, but I was also a good athlete. I was also very popular, so I had cool friends, so I wasn't really getting picked on, but you see a lot of that happen.
Yeah. So you just thought you were like a kid with lots of energy, maybe a hyperactive kid, right?
Yeah.
You didn't know there was something.
No, I knew something was off in terms of OCD and having to count things and steps and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
But again, what's normal, right? Like that kind of became my everyday. So I was like, oh, something seems off, but you can't really formulate that thought as a 8, 9, 10-year-old.
So you had those, was OCD first, or was just all together?
It was kind of all together, but I do think the onset of OCD came slightly before that.
Okay. So you're in 6th grade then. Wow, man. and then. So what kind of sports were you doing in school at that time?
So I played
basketball too.
Yeah, I played. Yeah. That's my first love. It will always be. Love the NBA now. It's what I watch, regularly. But yeah, I played soccer, played basketball all through school. That was my safe haven. That was my sanctuary. That was like, I could be judged for something other than having Tourette syndrome. People wanted me on their team. People wanted me to score goals and dunk the basketball. And so for me, I always wanted to be practicing. I always wanted to be playing. I always wanted to be around the game because it was a place that I could get away from, it's almost like a monster inside you kind of thing where you're like, oh, I don't want to sit still because I can't sit still. You know what I mean?
To focus your energy on.
Yes.
But I also saw a quote from you saying later on, you realized that having the OCD really helped focus you just playing in professionally. You know what I mean?
When you talk to a lot of people with TS, you could be an artist, you could be a skateboarder, you could be anything.
Yeah.
What you realize, whether it's obvious to you or if it's a subconscious thing, is you have this. It's almost like your superpower. You have this innate ability to focus and concentrate on something else. Yeah. And I found that I get on the field, and I know that I have tics and I have tics, but I'm so hyper focused because the moment is so 50,000 people. There's so much anxiety and pressure on the game that it takes my attention away from being in that moment. So it's nice. That's why maybe I always thrived.
So your love for basketball, when did that change for the love of soccer? Like, were you fully basketball in school only?
I was both.
Did it all?
I was both. Both. I think I just was slightly better at soccer. So, even though in my dreams, I had dreams of playing for the New York Knicks. But
wow.
Never in my life. But
Mike Rapp would be proud.
Yeah, of course. and so soccer just kind of took off, and I think soccer you can develop at a really young age at a high level, if that makes sense. Like you got 17, 18-year-olds making the jump to professional soccer with no problem, you know? So it's not easy to do in other sports.
But back then soccer wasn't as big in America as it is now, right?
Yeah,
more
that's
basketball
right.
focused.
That's right. I mean, I think the league is, the league and soccer in general has grown in America, and it's gotten so much better and bigger, and more money's being spent on players and stadiums. So it's impressive.
So did you know what you wanted to do at that young age?
Yeah. I always wanted to be. I mean, I think my mom probably still has papers that I wrote in school about I want to be a professional athlete. I want to play soccer and dream of playing in the Olympics and all that kind of stuff. So I think that was always my path.
And so, did it affect your grades? All the sports? Were you like pretty good?
I don't think I was a great student, but I was also we talk about, and that's kind of what we do now is. With the Tourette syndrome associations that I work with, is you're trying to advocate for the kids, be a voice for the voiceless, and go into schools, and still with our educators and our medical professionals, TS still isn't really focused on. It's a specialty, and so you get a hyperactive kid who can't focus or sit still in school. This 25-year-old teacher who ain't got the time or the patience to deal with this kid who's being disruptive. It doesn't get the attention it deserves. So we're trying to do a lot more of that. But again, you're talking about the 80s and early 90s. For me, they weren't having it.
Yeah. What year did you graduate?
Graduate high school 1997.
Oh, 97. Okay. But in 1991, this guy named what's his name? Tim McQueen.
Mm-hmm. Tim Mulqueen.
He saw your potential for soccer, right?
Yeah.
Kind of took you under his wing in a sense.
That was my guy. So he's like my mentor. He was young, brash soccer coach, and I guess he had an eye for talent all these years later. So he basically took me under his wing. And
how old were you then?
I was
91.
So I was only like 10, 12 years old, somewhere around there.
Wow.
So he nurtured me, and he drove me. He was hard. He was hard on me, and he saw the best in me and just drove me. And we've had an amazing friendship ever since. He became my mentor and best friend. So
wow.
Yeah, it's cool. But everybody needs that. Everybody needs somebody to believe in them, and he was. Yeah.
And your parents were supportive, even though they had split. Were their parents supportive?
Oh yeah. My mom drove me up and down the East Coast every weekend. It's so funny because here she is, working two jobs and in soccer. The problem in America, and it's probably too long a conversation, is it's a pay-to-play sport. At the youth level.
Okay.
Which again, it kind of pushes.
It's expensive too. Yeah.
It's expensive,
Yeah.
So you get a lot of minorities who can't pay to play, and so we're losing out, and that's a whole nother development issue. But we used to go to we used to go to hotels, and the team staying at a nicer hotel, and my mom was like, listen, we're going to stay at like the Howard Johnson. They got a continental breakfast. Get up. You know what I mean? Free breakfast. Let's get on the road. So, yeah, she took me everywhere, man.
And no siblings?
I have an older brother. It's slightly older. He's 45.
And what is he into?
He played baseball.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he played baseball when we were younger. So he jumped in the car, traveled with us.
Wow. And so your mom was pretty much raising you.
She was a rock. My dad, he was close by, so he would come to games when he could. He was a truck driver, long haul truck driver. So
okay,
yeah, he was on the road a lot, but yeah, he was a big fan, man.
Wow. Okay, so and then, I have so many notes on you, bro. So many notes on you.
Throw it at me,
man. The club career started like what? The Metro Stars, like the first reel in '98.
So I graduated high school in '97.
Yeah.
Signed for basically a professional team, but
Central Jersey Cosmos.
Yeah, so it wasn't very lucrative. I think I was getting like $200 a paycheck, but for a high school kid, it was money in my pocket.
Chilling, yeah.
Yeah. So and then a year later, I signed with the Metro Stars, who are now the New York Red Bulls of the MLS, and that was it, man. The rest is history. I signed, and played there for 5 years, and it was great, man. I love being a professional athlete. It was like, all right, this is what I always wanted to do, but it was still a grind and a hustle.
So you're like 17, 18 when you joined that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow, and that's just been it since then. Pretty much.
Then that was it until.
So no jobs. You're working no jobs.
I worked at Burlington Coat Factory for. Listen, I worked at Burlington Coat Factory for 2 weeks, maybe less. And my buddy I was like, I gotta go work. I was cashier. My buddy was like, come on, man, let's just dip and we'll forget work. And I was like, all right, cool. And that was the end of that job. So that was the only job I really ever worked. And then. And then I retired about 2 years ago from playing and tried to find my feet, figure out what I wanted to do, and fell in love with television. So.
Holy crap, man! So then you went to Manchester United's in there.
Yep.
Is it Everton, Everlong?
Everton, yeah.
And the Colorado Rapids and Memphis 901. But you came out of retirement and played with the Memphis, right?
I did, yeah. But it was short lived because it was COVID, right? So,
shit, yeah.
So we, all best laid plans, they kind of got destroyed like everybody else.
Wow.
So yeah, it was really only Colorado Rapids and in rap.
In rap, yeah. I have what you Champion for Hope. There's so many fucking things. Well, you got nominated for that, the most notable individual with Tourette syndrome in sports, right? That was the Champion for Hope, right? Tourette.
Yeah, and so it's nice to get a lot of these humanitarian awards, and I always tell people that like I have the easiest job in the world when it comes to raising awareness for Tourette syndrome. I don't have to say anything. I'm on television. Millions of people watching. Yeah. So it's just again being a voice for the voiceless, and so many kids that can't really advocate for themselves, and you try and be a beacon of light. And if again, it's helpful. I had someone I looked up to who actually is playing in rap's Big Three, Mahmoud Abdul Rauf. He STS. And
he does too.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And so back in the late '80s, early '90s, I saw him on TV. And I was like, yo, that he looks like me. Like, he's doing all the things I'm doing. So, and in fact, we just connected actually through social media not long ago, and. So it was really, it's been kind of cool. And he has a documentary coming out, and he asked me, it's with, I think it was with Showtime, and he asked me if they wanted to speak to me, the producers, and I was like, man, I'm honored, bro. Like you're the guy I've always idolized, So I looked up to him. So it's really cool. I've never met him yet, but they always say don't meet your idols, which I actually believe.
I believe that too sometimes.
But this I have to.
Unless it's Nas.
I met Nas.
I know, me too.
When I met Nas, I was like speechless. I was like a little kid, man. I'm like, what's wrong with me?
It is weird, right?
It's weird. It's strange, man.
I have a good Nas story if you want to hear. But I heard also Amazon's doing a movie on you, supposedly a documentary.
Yes, that's right. It's in the works.
Amazing,
it's being written right now. It's kind of
awesome.
It's when I was able to write a book, which was a labor of love, and it's strange. There's a lot of pieces to
The Keeper, right?
Yes.
That was 2014.
2014. And there's a lot of layers to your life that you're like, I don't know if I always want to start peeling these back, So it was a deep dive, it was a labor of love, and now Amazon, they've got the rights to my biopic, and it's gonna be fun, man. I'm excited.
That's awesome. I have so many highlights. So that 2001, the youngest person for MLS goalkeeper of the year, correct?
Yeah.
And then Olympic Ross in 2000.
Yep.
2004 goalkeeper of the year. That's EPL.
Yep. EPL. Yeah.
2008 Golden Glove. What's FIFA?
FIFA. It's the governing body of soccer in the world. Okay. Yeah.
So that too, and then like it was so hard to like, because I'm not really good with the wording of like sports. I'm not a sports guy. just like all the different achievements. Well, 2008 U.S. Soccer Athlete of the Year.
Yeah.
2010 World Cup. The match versus England. Was it U.S. versus England?
Yeah, in World Cup.
Yeah, World Cup. And one of the 5 players to play every minute of the 2010 FIFA World Cup.
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean, play every minute?
Well, so you can get substituted out of the game, or maybe you don't play
the
a game.
Whole shit.
I was in the whole time.
Damn. And that's pretty much unheard of.
Yeah, my longevity in my career is what I hang my hat on. Like the awards are great, but just being able to be a teammate who, like, every game you knew I was going to show up. That was for me the only real thing I wanted. My teammates respected me for that.
Yeah, goalkeeper. That's crazy, man. Then 2018. English 5th tier club. I don't know what this stuff even means, but it sounds so cool. Like the Dagenham versus Redbridge.
Yeah,
America's 2nd tier
Dagenham
club.
Redbridge. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So our ownership group who owns Memphis bought a club in England too. So yeah, it's all happening.
I'm learning about soccer as we speak.
We got it. Hey, we're gonna get you out on the field, kicking around.
And then ambassador of the USA former club. That was in 2019.
Mm-hmm. At Everton. Yeah, I'm a global ambassador for Everton Football Club. I spent 10 years there, man. I love it. It's my home.
Yeah, England's so sick. Such
England's
a great
dope.
music scene there too.
Man. Oh yeah.
And then Golden Glove best goalkeeper, 2000 Summer Olympics. And then what about when you became a father? Like, how did that change for you becoming a dad? Like in your profession, because you're traveling so much. It's like being in the band.
Yeah, well, it is, and my kids are everything. I think anybody who says otherwise is crazy. My kids are like, they give you the joy, they give you the reason to wake up in the morning. That you try and live the right way and set the right example, right? And they're always there, like at the forefront of mind, like, okay, you got to figure this out, and particularly when you're raising teenagers now, it's like you try and guide them in the right way. But fatherhood, I mean, it was awesome, and it was cool having young kids in England. My son was born in England.
Oh, wow.
I'm always telling them, like, you're the golden child. Like, none of us were born abroad except you, So
the double passport too.
Yeah,
wow.
For sure.
So you were there a long time in England. Wow.
13
So they went to
years.
school in England.
Early on.
Okay.
Early on, yeah, and then they moved back to the States.
So you've been all over, like Denver, Memphis, UK, a lot of
Everywhere.
traveling.
Love it, man.
Wow. And so like having kids, you try to have them, obviously they're with you there, but then when you're traveling, you got to keep balance of everything.
Yeah, so Memphis is home. That's the home base, and they're in school there. I think my son's ready to spread his wings, man. He's got skills. Yeah, he's massive in the music scene. So he's like, right, when am I moving to Nashville? When am I doing this? Like, let's go. So he's about to be 16, and that's a good time. He's feeling. So Nashville is his move, you think? I think so. I think right now, he seems to have a passion for it, knows what he wants, and so, you got to go out. You got to go out and live life, man. Yeah. 16. Wow, man. Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, you started early too, though. Yeah. I was 20. I think I was 27 when I had my son, and then 29 when I had my daughter. So it's cool, but it's also fun being a young dad and seeing him navigate these teenage years, which is scary, but also incredibly rewarding as well. Were you nervous about going over to another country and playing? Was it's culture shock kind of thing for you? Nervous, but also like excited. Yeah, man. That's what playing in the English Premier League. It's the greatest league in the world. Yeah. Like, it's everybody's dream. So it's like, yeah, I'm nervous and scared, but I'm also, this is what I want. You know what I mean? So a lot of Americans on the team? Not many at all. No. Really? Yeah. I mean, there's very few Americans that play in England, even now. So yeah. Because you see like basketball teams here, and it's like, you watch like a New York Knicks or something. Not all the guys are from New York. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, of course. They're all over. But yeah, Americans didn't get a good rap for a long time in Europe. But like, a few of us carved out a career, and people blazed a path for me, and I in turn did that for other people. And there's kids now in England who are rocking. Yeah, was the team welcoming of you when you came? They were excited to have you. It was like respect and all this. They were fine. I mean, it was no problem. There's such an influx of foreigners in England anyway. Yeah, like Americans, the last of their worries. But did you feel like you had to prove yourself coming from America? Oh, of course. So you went harder. Definitely. And then you harder on yourself. I've always been hard on myself. I mean, the worst critic. Yeah. I drive myself beyond my own limits all the time, and so that's like, I think that's a good trait to have. Yeah. But sometimes you'd be super hard on yourself and like really like beat yourself down. Yeah. No. I was so terrible in that game, but then like it was awesome. I had a good balance, in terms of just pushing myself, never getting too high, never getting too low, but always looking forward to the next opportunity, next moment. Yeah. And then how important is health and exercise with you? You've always been into all that? Yeah. You have to. It's easy being an athlete, but even post playing now, like it's gives me peace of mind. There's not a lot of things you can control, but you can control getting yourself into the gym, going for a workout, going on, you know, whatever class you want to take or exercise or yoga, you can control that. And I like to have, in a world where we don't have a lot of control, that's kind of my peace of mind. It's my mental, it's my mental relaxes when I'm in the gym.
And you started doing that when you started playing soccer professionally?
Yeah, I mean, I think when you're young and you're spry and you're you know, metabolism's high, you don't always have to work out so much. But as my career progressed, and I probably got to the other side of, you know, 30, 31, 32, that's when I really started focusing on health and exercise and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. And so now that you're not playing soccer, do you still play? Obviously, sometimes
I don't have a.
You roll up to your friends and like jump in the game or something.
I don't have a desire to play. My daughter will want me to kick around with her and train her every now and again, and I'll lace the boots up. But to be honest with you, man, my tank is empty in terms of playing. I love the game, love watching it. I obviously work in television with soccer, but my tank is empty in terms of having a desire to play the game.
Wow.
Maybe it'll come back. But
do you have a favorite team? Do you watch?
Yeah, I mean, I love Everton. I love watching Manchester United. Again, teams I played for that I have an affinity for. But I'm a neutral now because, you know, I have to be unbiased and giving my opinion. So, you know, but I think you always look at, obviously, U.S. men's national team will always be my pride and joy.
Yeah. Is that one of your favorite teams you're on?
Yeah, of course, because everyone's dream when you start out playing soccer is to play for your country.
Yeah.
And I had the good fortune of doing that. So when, you know, obviously you see them build, and they start to look forward to qualifying for a World Cup, and it's awesome. It's fun. They're not always getting together because it's different, right? They only come together every couple of months. So it gets exciting. Is there any particular games that stand out to you that you're proud of your performance, or I'm a lucky boy?
They all kind of blend together.
Listen, T, I'm a lucky boy, man. I there's some really awesome performances that I've, you know, team performances, individual. You know, lets me know I'm lucky because I have so many to choose from. But I think, to be honest, most people when they stop me in the street are like, "Hey, that Belgium game in 2014 was dope." And so,
wow,
yeah, it's cool. It's nice to have a shining moment that people can hang their hat on and feel like they connect with you. And you know, I think that's dope.
Do you ever watch yourself back?
I hate watching myself back. I hate watching
study your moves.
I hate watching games. I hate watching myself on television. I don't know what it is.
Wow.
I've never really wanted to do that. Obviously, highlight reels are nice, so you know every now and again you'll see those. But yeah, I always hated watching myself.
Wow,
I know it's crazy.
Me too. Right? Like I can't listen to some shit I record, or like if somebody filmed my show, you want to see the footage? I'm like, nah, I'm good. I was just there.
Yeah, you lived.
It is kind of weird, right?
It's very, very strange.
So how is the transition from soccer to television?
It was good. You know, I wasn't sure that. Well, I liked it. I didn't know that I'd fall in love with it, and it's been amazing for me. I think what I loved about it felt very much like playing. That's going to sound weird, but you have this team around you. I've got the most amazing producers at NBC Sports. You know, the talent that's on the desk with me. It's your team. It's your teammates, the statisticians, everybody who is, you know, you have these calls every week, pre-production calls, and then you talk about format, and everybody is gearing up for when that camera comes on.
Yeah.
And then they're there to support you, and they're not going to let you fail. And so you get nervous, you get anxious. And so, and you know what it's like right before a show. And so, but you know people have your back. You know people are going to be there for you. It's the same as a team. Yeah. So I love it. I love traveling and all that kind of stuff.
So were you nervous first time going on air?
Oh, man. I remember, and, you know, as an athlete, you got to do interviews, and like, all right, cool. Yeah. And I worked for NBC back in 2013, 2013, excuse me, when I was still playing over in England. I wasn't doing studio work. I was calling the games as a co-commentator.
Okay.
And, you know, you get this crash course in doing the game and what it's supposed to look like. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I've heard this. Okay, cool, great. And then you do your prep. And I remember them counting in my ear going, okay, we're live, and I just remember my knees like starting to shake. I'm like, my knees don't ever shake. What is this? And the camera comes on, and I'm like swallowing my words. Like, what is going to happen here? So yeah, it's a crazy feeling.
And then once you get through, you're like, okay, I got this.
Yeah, it's TV is about reps.
Yeah, you know, like how they tried to change the way we do math with our kids. Like math, I forget what part of the math is. Math is done different. I think I'm not sure if it's not multiplication or it's. I'm going to fuck this up. But my point is, nothing's changed in the game or rules of soccer ever. Mm-hmm. It's always stayed the same, or has it changed over the years? Did they change things?
Yeah, it's a very traditional sport. They try to change it a little bit here and there. But any sort of drastic rule change or anything that's non-traditional, it gets fought bad by media, by fans. They're not really going to let it change too much.
And is that because new younger people coming in trying to, or is it?
Yeah, I mean, certain people have wanted to get innovative to try and make it. Look, soccer's a low-scoring sport, right? Like, there's it's not going to be 100 to 100. It's not going to be 24 to 26.
Yeah,
it's going to be 1-0. You know, but there's nuances to the game that, again, the traditionalists love, right? So you don't have to score a goal to have watched a really good game.
Okay,
you understand? And so sometimes people outside the game can't understand that. So you'll get certain governing bodies who are going to want to change things to make it more exciting, to make it more lucrative, make more money. It doesn't ever happen.
And so, would you ever get hot-headed, like playing there? Were you a hothead, or were you like? Were you good at keeping yourself like?
Yeah, I was
not getting aggressive. I don't know, intense.
I was very calculated with my intensity. So,
and you can control your.
Yeah, there was always a reason. Like I very very rarely did I fly off the handle emotionally and wasn't in control of that. Like it might have looked as if I was going crazy, but it was calculated to get a response from my team or from the referee or from the other team. So, yeah, I was very much in control.
Very much control, right?
Yeah.
And I know you're a massive hip-hop head, too. Is that something you've been into your whole life as a young kid?
No doubt. I went through the
East Coast, man, yeah.
East Coast. I went through the heavy metal stage, Metallica, Guns N' Roses. Yeah, that's like late 80s. And then, man, you've grown up in the 90s, man. This golden generation for hip-hop, for all kinds of boy bands, and anybody tells you then boy bands, they're lying. But
Backstreet,
R&B, heavy metal. I mean, it's everything. So
were you going to shows in Jersey and stuff? Or
so the first show I ever went to was true story. You're gonna love this. Was at Hunka Bunka in Sayreville, New Jersey. Shout out to Hunka Bunka. Anybody who's listening,
I know Sayreville, New Jersey.
Yeah, and it was basically a nightclub, but they would have teen night every now and again, right? Sick. So like no alcohol, that. So we get up there, and this 3-piece hip hop crew comes on.
Oh shit! I know who it is too.
Yeah, it was Lauren, it was Praz, and it was and Wyclef, and this was before. This is before they dropped their first album. So they're singing these songs. Stage is no bigger than this kitchen, and there's like 100 people in there drinking water, And
holy shit!
And they're from one of the oranges, South Orange, East Orange, somewhere in there. And we're in Sayreville, and they're dropping it. And like I'm a junior in high school, so this is I might get it wrong. It's probably like 96. And then that was like in the winter. And then by the time prom came around, the album had dropped, and we're banging it. We're like, yo, we just listened to these cats. We didn't know they were any good. We didn't know who they were.
Shit.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So that was your first like hip hop show.
Yeah, that was like my first show. Wow. Yeah.
Or live concert. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It was dope.
And you were a metalhead kid too, kind of this.
Yeah, Guns N' Roses was my jam.
Damn.
So crazy, right?
So then your love for hip hop pretty much.
That was it. That was it. I was on the Jersey Turnpike. I was in the backseat of my older brother, so it was his friends. We were playing basketball, going into the city, into New York to play basketball. We're on a Jersey Turnpike at a toll booth, Hot 97. They're like, worldwide exclusive, Hot 97, Notorious B.I.G., Juicy. We're like, what's this? And it dropped, and it was like, from then I knew every single word. It was crazy. So like, music takes you back to moments. Yeah. And I just remember thinking, oh, this sounds dope. And then lo and behold, it's, anytime the opening of Juicy hits, you're like, everybody knows it.
Yeah, so I was living in New York at that same time. That's crazy, yeah.
Right?
I was in New York till 2001.
That's dope.
So all the 90s, like seeing Wu-Tang and all that stuff.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Brand Nubian.
Oh, so, I mean, New York is just the epicenter for hip-hop.
But then Nas and Illmatic comes out. That's 94.
Yep.
And I know we both love Nas so much, man. I just like...
Listen.
You got a Nas signature on your hand.
I got a Nas... I
got a Nas tattoo,
yeah.
Not from him, though. He signed my hand, and...
It was crazy. It was good.
It was cool.
Yeah, he was dope. Man, he was super dope. Like I said, I also.
He's your top.
Who's my top?
Nas, isn't it?
It's got it, but yeah, it's hard to. I have a top 5.
Okay,
but it's hard to. I mean,
Nas Biggie's in there.
Nas for me is my top, but it's hard to. Everybody's gonna have Nas, Biggie, Pac, M.
Wow.
Yeah,
nice.
Eminem lyrically is
incredible.
And
you got Pac and Biggie together. Wow.
Do you have Pac? Do you have Pac in yours?
No, I love him though. But yeah. No, I don't have him in my. Shit. I didn't even think about this. Nas. Biggie. I have Pac and M and. Oh, Rakim.
Rakim's number 6 for me.
Okay.
So again, he's in. Essentially.
KRS-One or Guru. Damn, man, it's hard, dude.
But Guru's flow is so unbelievable.
I
man.
know,
that melodic flow that on the jazz, like it's
everything.
I still listen to that, but
it's incredible. Yeah, but Nas, I have a good Nas story. I don't know if I told on the podcast before, but Rappaport said, "Yo, come on my house. I'm going to watch this Muhammad Ali documentary." I'm like, "Bet I'll be over there." I walk into his house. Rappaport's sitting on the couch. doing bong hits with Nas and eating chicken.
Shut up.
So I look at Rap, I look at Nas, and Rap knows I'm a massive fan. Like he sees my eyes, he knows I'm like hyped. As this is my man Toby, blah blah blah. And then Nas tries to hand me the bong, and Rap's like, "No, don't give him that shit. He's straight edge." And then and then Nas like, "What's straight edge?" And then I told him what it means. And then it's like, "You want some chicken?" Then and Rap's like, "Nah. He's a fucking vegan." This is years ago. Nas like, "What's a vegan?"
Right.
And I told him what it was.
Right.
I was so nervously shook, and I just sat there and faced the TV, just us three, and we watched this Muhammad Ali doc. It was so fucking tripped out, man.
That's amazing.
And I didn't want to leave, but I also felt weird being there. They're so high, laughing and shit.
Right. Were you sitting on the couch like staring at them like...
I don't want to look back, but I feel like a nerd, like kind of being there, like... Yeah. But like when I said whatever, he's like, respect. You don't do drugs, respect. It was really cool. And then I met him.
That's an amazing story.
I know. Then I met him a couple times with Rap after that. Then I saw him at Crossroads once. He was super nice.
Okay. It's so dope. And for me,
that's a good moment to meet somebody. Where was Nas at? You met him at?
So he was at a show. He was at a show in Denver. I had a bunch of my people out and went to the show. Went backstage. And again, I don't ever do the whole like let me try and get backstage. Let me meet somebody. Like I'll go see a show, go see a game, and then dip. Right? Like I respect what people do, but I was like, man, I gotta meet Nas, man. Like he's my number one, you know.
Yeah.
And I met him, went backstage, and then you know.
Did he know who you were talking? Did he know?
He was cool enough to be like you might walk away thinking he knew you, but I don't know. He was a gentleman, and Luke tattooed a Illmatic on me, so like it was on my hip, and I was like, I'm making small talk.
Show my hip.
I'm making small talk. Nas. I'm like, I got Illmatic tattoo. He's like, show me. I'm like, well, I can't really unbuckle my pants.
Weird,
like, it's over here, man. Like,
it's on my ass cheek.
Yeah, I'm like, can you sign my hand? He's like, see. So he signed my hand, and man, and I went home.
Sick signature.
Yeah, it's so dope. And I went home and like, I got to get tattooed. It's like midnight in Denver, and there's nothing open. Shit. It's like I'm sleeping with my hand off the bed. Like, I went, and the next day I went and got it tattooed. So I was like, that's my favorite one, man.
Yeah, it's a great signature.
Yeah, he's dope. But you know what? Truth be told, if I had to pick one group, it's Tribe Called Quest, man. That's my jam. That's my jam. I know that, you know.
Incredible doc, too.
Oh, yeah. Rap did it. Yeah, Rap did it.
He did it so good.
That's another time I met Q-Tip sitting courtside at the Knicks, and he was just so chill, man. He was in his Ugg boots and some, like, a hoodie. He's just chilling. I'm like, oh, this is crazy.
Wow. Yeah, Tribe Called Quest, De La Soul. Fuck, Wu-Tang, those group, man, incredible, man.
Incredible.
But just like the positivity of Tribe, De La, Younger Brothers, the whole Native Tongues thing.
Yeah.
It was just some other level back then.
It was another level because, like, what were they actually singing about? It was fun. Like, it wasn't necessarily super political, but it was just, like, fun stuff. Like, kids on the block just chilling, talking about the bodega, like, living it as opposed to... Sometimes now I gotta be careful because my son, you know, he listens and he's like, and he's a consumer, so he's always telling me like, I'm like, oh, that's whack, and he's like, well, it's not because there's a trillion people following this guy, and I'm like, you're right, it's a consumer, so I get it, but like they were talking about real like the stuff sometimes with that like rappers are talking about now, and I like a lot of the hip hop out now.
Yeah, my son turned me on to some shit.
Yeah, some of it is just kind of like you're not living, you're kind of just BSing, you know what I'm saying? So like. Yeah, Tribe, you think about he lost his wallet in El Segundo. You're like, that's not even a song. How is that a thing? And they make it a thing. And
dude, and then I moved here in 2001, and I want to go there. Right. And I realized, it's right over, right. It's like 10 minutes from here, between here and fucking the airport, or by the airport. I'm like, El Segundo, holy shit! You get to go there. I'm like, this is such a random song from Deuce and Queens to write about.
Correct.
So the hip hop now, like, there's some stuff my son plays. He loves Lil Uzi. Yep. He loves 21 Savage. Plays me all kinds of obscure stuff and like and when I'm not supposed to love it. I'm 51 years old. I'm supposed to, but he loves like all the stuff I grew up on. He's bumping Mobb Deep. There's all kinds of stuff like that in his car. Yeah, I love hearing him listen to the diverse stuff. But like like you can't get mad at it because everything changes. It's still hip hop. It's just a different version of it, you know.
Well, listen. I think that's kind of where my evolution is very similar to you. I'm like. You can't just be the dude who's like, oh, this is whack.
Old head
because it's not my thing, you know. Like, I get that, but it was all. But I guess it's like you said, it was cool. It's cool to meet. Like I said, don't meet your idols, but like it's in those moments. You said he's hitting a bong. You're kind of like, I don't really belong here, but it is also kind of fresh. Dude. I mean, my girlfriend at the time was with me, and she's like, don't be a nerd. Like, just be cool. And I'm like sitting there like.
It's hard not to be a nerd.
I know. I'm sitting there like wringing my hands, like, "Hi, Mr. Nas." You know what I mean?
You get sweaty and weird. It's like a weird thing because he is just a human, but how much influence he had on you is insane.
Well, like, he shapes your childhood or your teen years, or like, you know what I mean? You think about like they become superhuman. That's kind of why you don't meet your idols, because like they're perfect in your eyes. But they could
be having a bad day that day.
This is what I'm saying.
Sorry, dude, no photo.
This is what I'm saying.
And your whole life you waited for this moment.
For sure.
Because you've had days where like you didn't want to. Who knows?
But and here's the funny thing, right? See, I don't care about it personally. I had to put my kids onto that because they idolize people, and that's why I'm like, you might get disappointed. Like Kevin, my daughter met Kevin Durant. She loved him. He was amazing. He was 10 out of 10. But I'm like, if you had a bad shooting night last night, he might not want to meet this little girl who's wearing his jersey, and like that's okay. But like, so I worry about it for my own kids. But you know, they gotta live and learn too.
Yeah, I mean that's hard because I have met some people who are like, I kind of got hurt by them, and I was like, okay, maybe it's a bad day. I know they're not assholes. I'm still gonna love their music. You know what I mean? Like, and then there's other times that because that could affect somebody's whole life.
Of course it can.
Especially a younger kid. Not that we're older, we can get like younger kids like looking up to somebody and like getting dissed by somebody. You know what I mean?
Yeah, this factor's real.
My son met Tyler a couple times because he has a store over here. He's always been super cool with him. Yeah, just nice. He has
dope.
The golf store over there.
I didn't know that.
But yeah, I had another moment where Rap's friends with Jay. We went and saw Jay like 3 times. At the first time we went backstage, and it's just me, Jay-Z, and Rappaport, and Beyonce's on the couch. And I'm totally fucking shook because I love Jay as well. Yeah. And I'm just standing there like, and I think Jay's talking to Rap right next to me, and he knows I'm nervous, so he goes up to me and he puts his hand on my shoulder. He's like, hey man, you good? I said, yeah, I'm good. He goes, you want some water? I go, yeah. And he went and got me a Fiji, and I started drinking it, and then as soon as I drank it, I took my jacket off. And Rap saw, when he came over, Rap saw that he knew that I was like, what the fuck? And then the rest of the night I was super chill, but it's just us backstage. That's my man Jay. I'm like, okay, well, that's fucking Jay-Z to me, even if that's your boy. You know, it's like,
and also like, I think there's a mutual respect. Like, okay, I'm not on Jay-Z's level, nobody is, but like, you're also kind of, that was like with Nas, where I'm like, you just did a show. I've been there. I've played a game, and then people are in your space, and you don't know them, and you're trying to be hospitable, but like, there's a time and a place, and so you're like, let's keep this moving, you know. So,
and you've had people come up to you. I'm sure you're all sweaty or something. Yeah, for sure, you've been that. But it's like you always want to be awesome and be be cool to everybody.
Of course.
But I'm sure that gets a little crazy for people, especially on that level.
For sure.
So Illmatic's your favorite Nas record?
Yeah, Illmatic.
It's hard to compete. I wrote down all the records last night. Like, there's so many fucking Nas. There's just so many. Like, I mean, there's something on all these records that are good.
Yep.
Godson's incredible. I love Godson.
Yep.
I Am, It Was Written, Nostradamus. People hated that record, but there was some bangers on it. Uchi Wally Walla. There's a lot of good songs on that one. Stillmatic. Sweet Disciple is a great on there. Hip Hop Is Dead. Untitled Joint.
Yeah, I just think
Life Is Good was great.
Illmatic. Life Is Good was really good.
No,
really good.
And we waited mad years for the King's Disease.
Yeah.
Gosh. Now we got the new King's Disease Part 2.
Yes,
which I'm trying to listen to every day. I love the Death Row East song. That's a great storytelling. There's one about 40. I forgot the other ones about. I forgot the name.
I'm looking at it now. He had a good run, like songs 9 through like 12. Obviously, Nobody. Lauryn Hill. She called.
That's
banger
great.
With that.
That's great.
She came back, and then obviously, anyone who's not a Charlie Wilson fan can just. Do one, man. Because
that's a good
No
one.
Phony Love, Brunch on Sunday. So like, he had a real good run right in the middle there, where I'm like, Nas's sound is like, it's so particular. You know when Nas is in the studio wearing Tim boots and a camo, because you could feel it. There's a certain sound. He just nails it. So yeah, it's hard, man. It's hard being a legend in the music game, and you can understand.
And that old and staying relevant too.
Yeah, because when you like, take the Grateful Dead as an example.
Okay.
They did all their best stuff when in the 70s. They didn't have to be innovative. They didn't have to change. So all the greatest people who we know and love, Prince, Nas, whomever, it doesn't matter where it is, right? Guns N' Roses doesn't have to drop an album that's innovative for people to be like, what do you want to hear? Sweet Child of Mine, Welcome to the Jungle. Like that's forever and always what they are. And so, but I understand as an artist, and I'm speaking to an artist, that you're like, well, hang on. I don't want the record company to tell me what to do. I want to spread my wings and fly, and I want to do my own thing. But I mean, Kanye is probably the best example of that. Pink Polo Kanye can never be matched.
Yeah.
But like, he's looking at it going, nah, I want my own sound. I want to do my own thing, right? So like,
do you follow him and all his newer stuff and all that stuff?
A little bit, little bits and pieces. I mean, look, he's brilliant. I think he's brilliant in terms of, what's in his mind and what he produces. But sometimes it flops because he's trying to do what he wants to do, right?
Yeah.
As opposed to back when, dropping through the wire, it was like, is fire.
Incredible.
Fire.
What about Nasir? That's the one that really, and I love Nas. Like we both have Nas tats. I love it. That was the one I felt like, and he even said he felt rushed with Kanye. It was like almost like a half of a mixtape. There was a really beautiful song on there. I can't even sing it, but there was one that really stood out on there that I was listening to at Runyon. But that one was kind of weird to me because I was so excited about it.
Yes, because it was so long.
It'd be great to have like a premiere produced Nas record. I know De La Soul mentioned today they're doing a premiere De La Soul record, which I'm excited about. But like we can't tell Nas what we want and what we want to hear next because he's a grown ass man.
Right.
But I do love how Nas, I'm sure it's influenced by his daughter, while he's with different young hip hop artists on the record. He's having the last couple recores he's doing stuff with younger.
Yes.
And YG's on the new one too as well.
Well, I agree with you with the Kanye produced album. It just didn't feel like a fit. But again, there's a fit and a vibe to artists and production, right? And so that one just didn't seem to ebb and flow, and that happens. It's okay. Like he said, he felt like it was rushed. It seemed like it was rushed, but like in general, when you get the producer that just understands the vibe and has the vision, then it's brilliant.
But it made me feel relieved when I heard him say that.
Yeah.
Because that was my mental review for the record. Like, this was rushed. Like it.
Sure.
He was just up there in Wyoming, and then he was working on his other projects. Because he dropped like 4 projects that year.
Well, it's good that he, when an artist can come out and say and be honest, then you're like, cool, keep it moving.
Yeah.
All right, let me give you one. Jay Dilla.
Okay.
You like Jay Dilla?
Yeah.
Feeling it. His instrumentals are. I mean, I have a record player at home. I'll put that instrumental on, and any day of the week, any time of the day, it's just chill.
Yeah.
And he's probably underrated because he produced a lot of those albums back in the day before he passed, and so I don't think people have a real understanding of his like collection and how many artists he influenced.
And they had like a Jay Dilla day too. What about like West Coast stuff for you?
Like West Coast, yeah. I mean, again, I was also on the NWA tip when they came out, right? Like, because everybody was on that, and so that was another group where you're like, yo, that didn't really. They only produced 2 albums before they split.
Made such an impact, though.
So, I mean, it's one of the greatest impacts of music all time.
It's insane.
I mean, I always laugh.
Holy shit!
I always laughed at like fuck the Police and NWA, and like they were blacklisted from everywhere. And then you got Ice Cube doing chorus commercials, and you got this person doing it, and it's like they're like mainstream. You're like, damn, but yeah, Dre for me is production wise,
incredible, man.
Awesome.
I mean, my son never heard of Ice Cube until he saw him fighting a deer in one of those kids movies.
Yeah.
I forgot what movie it was. I was like, that guy's a gangster rapper. It's like, what?
Right?
He was just a dad in this movie. That was the first time my son saw him. I forgot what that movie was, but that was a big movie. Are we there yet? Or one of those things? Yeah.
Gangster rapper turned mainstream. It's crazy.
Ice-T too, though. Great actor.
Oh my God. Yeah, for sure. Again, there's a lot. So I like the West Coast influence, but being from New Jersey, it's just so much that you can sink your teeth into.
But you got Pac in there too. But Pac is from the East Coast.
Yeah, but Pac was in like. Pac was revolutionary. He was in it, like that's why he has to go in there lyrically. The stuff he was talking about was just on a in the early 90s, different level.
Nobody was talking about that kind of stuff.
No,
he was like an art student, like in Manhattan stuff.
Yeah, I mean, and you talk about the influence of his mom, and then like Brenda's Got a Baby. Like what? I'm watching this on MTV. Like this is hip hop. This is crazy.
And then he got super hard. And
yeah.
I met him once, man.
Did you?
Yeah, I was.
Where?
It's in a book, and I'm gonna show you this book. It's called Who Shot You? It's a hip hop book, but there's a picture of me in House of Pain backstage. It was like a maybe Hot 97 show that played in, but it was House of Pain, Ice-T. It was a crazy show.
Yeah. And
so we come off stage. I was on stage at House of Pain. We go backstage. We're all
Jump Around's my go-to karaoke song.
Oh wow! I need to see footage of that. So I'm chilling back there. We all have our shirts off. I have the most tats at that point. It might be like in early 90s.
Okay.
And Ice-T comes back, starts talking to the guys. And then Tupac comes in. He's got his hair from Juice. So I don't know if it was around that same time. And he walks up to me and he fucking puts his hand, like he doesn't touch it. He points at my stomach rocker. He's like, damn, you white boys are tatted up. Yo, fuck that shit. That shit look hard. He had no tats.
No way.
Because you white boys are tatted up. And then he shook my hand. I remember shaking his hand. And he said, what's up to House of Pain dudes. But I was the guy in my show. I was right there. I was the first one he came up to, and I met him, and I knew who he was, but I wasn't like a massive fan. I knew I'd get around and stuff. He was with Digital Underground.
Yes.
So I had that moment where I shook his hand. God, I wish I had a fucking camera back then.
Oh
then
my God.
He said what up to the House of Pain dude. Said what up to Ice-T, and he left. And I was like, holy shit, that was this. But I wasn't like, holy shit. I just knew him.
Sure.
He wasn't.
He was young though, fresh.
It was before yet, and the next time I saw him, dude, he was fucking tatted up. I was like, it was crazy, man.
It was insane.
But I wish, and I even saw like Esteban. I don't know if he's talking about the same New York show. Cause he was with House of Pain talking about Tupac being at a New York show, and if he had a camera back then, he could have got a sick pic. Yeah. Because Esteban was with House of Pain at the time too.
Dope, man.
But it was this moment, like I can say I met Tupac. It was this,
but
it wasn't the Tupac that people became to know. But he's a great actor as well, man.
Juice. Everybody needs to go back and watch Juice. What a movie!
It's incredible, man.
What
he's
a
incredible.
movie.
He's
that
incredible at both.
Too, yeah.
Oh yeah, Know the Ledge. Fucking one of the best songs. Bassline.
Know the Ledge. I could run through a wall to Know the Ledge. Yeah. And Eric B. That's another one. I mean, you talk about top 5.
I know.
Eric B. for president.
I love how it went from soccer to hip hop. But you talk about soccer all the time.
Yeah. So hip hop and tattoos are way better.
Oh yeah, and tattoos too. Do you have any soccer tattoos?
Yeah, I just got one from Dan Smith
That's
yesterday.
right.
Yeah.
That's your first soccer tat?
No, I've got Everton, which is my old club, tattooed on me. I think I got a soccer player recently. I'm doing.
Oh wow.
Working on this docuseries, and one of the episodes is tattoo and culture and that kind of thing. And so I got a soccer tattoo on my leg. So there's a few. There's definitely a few.
It made me happy. Like it's such a small. Dan's like one of my closest friends. He's like I told him to come on the podcast. He's like, dude, I'm tattooing him tomorrow. I talked to his son. I'm like, what the fuck? How do you guys know each other? And just through the world, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so he did cleats on you or something?
Yeah, he did. He's
ill with the shoes too.
His shoes have become like a little bit of his thing, right?
He
did Air Max on you.
Yep.
So yes, I was like, I don't know, like the British culture influence, like soccer is my thing. So the shoes and the tattoos are his. So
he's from there too.
I know. So Dan Smith, shout out to Dan. He's just like, I mean, you talk about being a 10 out of 10 human being. He's 100, man. He's 100%. He's an amazing guy. One of his mentors and a dear friend of his, Lal Hardy in London, who is one of the godfathers of like the underground punk tattoo scene in London, is a good friend of mine. So, man, I went over to Dan's shop yesterday, and we're like, we had connected before, and I was just like, let's just chill, and we probably I think I went in there at noon. We didn't start tattooing until 1, just sharing stories.
I love that shit.
Yeah, he's a diamond, man. It's good to connect too, man. Like tattooing just brings people together. Obviously Luke Westman is a dear friend of yours and mine, and he's just. Again, it's dope when you get good people, man, when you can like meet good people, share stories and experiences. Look, sometimes you're going to throw a couple $100 on the table, pick something off the wall and get it from somebody you don't know. That's tattoos too. But when you can connect and in Dan's shop, that shop, oh my God. I could honestly say, no word of a lie, that's the top 3 dopest, cleanest, raddest tattoo studios I've ever been in. Capture, man. If you get a chance, go.
Damn.
Super dope.
That says a lot.
Yeah.
So you're fully tatted, but now like you could have tats any way you wanted when you're playing soccer.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
But now that you're on TV,
correct.
You really can't be getting the fucking. No. You would never get your face. You're too handsome.
No, I never get my face.
Me either, man.
No,
I'm too handsome for that shit.
Yeah, that's not a thing, man. That's not a thing.
It's not for me.
It's also one day, I don't know when. I got to keep my hands and my neck clean, but one day I'll get my hands and my neck blasted because that's dope. But I also think like. Speaking of Lal Hardy in London, he also clowns a lot of like the young cats coming up because he's like, they got their hands in their neck and their face tattoo, but the rest of their body they got nothing on it. And he's like, back in the day, the only reason you went to those places,
you had no other room.
You had no other room, so they're faking.
It's tradition, you know what I mean? People start the face and the neck first.
Nah, it's corny.
But I was saying to you before, you are just like me because I always swore I would never get my hands. For years, I only had up to here. I had these stupid contracts with my wife, the dumbest contract you could ever make with your wife. If you're addicted to tattoos and your whole body's covered, I'll never get my hands, baby. I'll never get my hands. And then I just fucking somehow manipulated. I'm sorry, baby. And I just went crazy on my fucking hands because then you're so addicted. You're running out of the room. You ain't trying to do your taint. That shit's the last thing you want to fucking do. And then I see you. And you're up to like your watch area, and then you pop it on your throat, just enough to cover with like a button-up polo or something.
When I put that suit and tie on, I look presentable. That's all. That's all that matters.
Just like that though. Then after that, it's like fuck it.
Eventually, I'll get there. But
and don't do your head either. You got a good head.
No,
you have a good head.
Never.
I did my head because whatever, it's in the back. But like
you got hair. I'm bald, man. I'm trying to tattoo my head. Now some people do. It looks cool, but
people be tattooing.
I know hairlines. I know.
Fuck. So nobody cared about tats during soccer. They didn't give a shit.
Nah, it's part of the culture now.
Yeah, nothing. You got the side of your hands.
Yeah, I got the side of my hands. Damn. But that's it. I'm always trying to find like little place. Maybe on my finger where I got a ring I could cover up. I don't know.
Yeah. I have to with my. So I can't tattoo my wedding ring finger because I could do everything else, but I have never on mine. And my wife has a loan. That's the only finger tats I ever had.
Okay.
So I have never. And she has a loan under our wedding bands.
Nice.
But I wanted to do something, and then she's like, "I dare you to fucking go over that tattoo." So I kind of fucked myself with that. But like, I'm down, and I'm literally down to the worst area, like.
Oh yeah.
Behind my Johnson, that's all I have left. But I will get it done because when if I see myself naked or something, like damn, I got little teeny spots I got to fill because it's an addiction, dude.
It is, yeah. I'm about ready to start getting some blastovers because I'm running a room, which is cool. I got started getting tattooed a long time ago, so I got some really bad ones as well. You understand what I'm saying? So like,
I haven't covered anything up or lasered anything.
No, I'm getting lasered. I'm getting some laser now. I lasered one a few years back. I wanted to get a leg piece, so I had to lighten one so that I could get it done over. But I'm just gonna do some blastovers. I think those are kind of coming back.
I love it.
They're cool. So I got a couple artists that are willing to do that. So
the laser shit hurts, man.
Yeah, it's quick, but the only problem is it's quick. I don't mind it. So like.
They have to wait to get tatted over it though, right? Yeah.
That's the problem. The only problem with lasering is you got to wait like 6 weeks. I just go every day.
I know, or go. Yeah, you get a lot of tats when you can. You travel and get a lot.
Yeah.
Your legs are pretty much fucking fully full.
Almost.
You didn't do your ass yet though?
I got some ass tats. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I got some dope ass. Well, the problem with getting tattooed like on your ass cheek, you feel it like in your neck and your ear.
People don't think, but it has so many nerves in there.
Yeah. No, ass tats are fun. They're for like. Ass tats are for like 2 a.m. when you've been drinking some whiskey and you're like, let's go. Let's just go open up a shop and get tatted.
So you've been tatted a bunch while you're buzzing or drunk?
Yeah. But like I don't.
You regret some of those ones?
Nah.
Okay.
Nah, I don't have many tattoos I regret, man.
Yeah.
They all tell a story.
I feel the same way.
Yeah.
Unless it's some really dumb shit, and then you cover it up.
But yeah, you also have dumb shit, and you either just like it kind of blend. When you're heavily tattooed, when you only get 1 or 2 tattoos, don't get dumb shit. Get really good stuff.
And how old were you when you started getting tatted?
16. But if you have a lot of tattoos, they're just gonna blend in and it'll look cool.
Were you like the most tatted up guy in soccer back then?
One of, I think.
Yeah,
I think so.
A lot of dudes have tats.
A lot of dudes are tattooed. But again, as I said, like, come mess with me. Like a lot of people have neck tattoos and face tattoos, but you started getting 90% of your body cover. You go into some terrible areas.
Terrible
areas.
You just got your ditch. That's no joke either.
It's terrible. It's hard.
And when you get older too, like I definitely feel like when you get older, it just definitely hurts more. And healing too.
Back of the knee, upper back of the leg. It's just some bad spots. I almost had to tap out recently. I got it high up in the groin, and I was just like,
my glands get swollen.
Yeah, all the time. And I was like, I might have to tap on this one.
Really?
I didn't, but I almost.
You ever get the cream, the numbing cream?
Yeah.
Me too on my ass.
Oh, listen.
They call the cheater's cream. I had to do it though.
I don't care. I've got enough tattoos that I've passed the test. Like I
feel you.
I'm gonna numb when I need to.
How about your armpits?
Yeah, I'm not on your level.
Sucks.
I'm not on your. I will never. Well,
dude, you can't say that shit.
I know I can't. Here's why I say never. I can't fathom the pain. Like I just cannot fathom the pain of getting my armpit tattooed.
Yeah, I mean the ditch behind your knee is pretty bad though.
That's horrific.
Ribs.
I'd rather ribs than the ditch behind my knee. It's horrific. I nearly jumped off the table.
Damn.
Yeah.
Here's a serious question. Not really serious because some people answer it. I don't. You have any regrets? Any major regrets?
Whew. Anybody who says they don't is crazy.
I know.
I of course I do. I don't.
But not with your career, like not with your.
No. I've.
It seems like you fulfilled all your goals.
Yeah. Listen, I've failed a bunch of times too, but I wouldn't count those as regrets, right? Like those are part of the game. You learn from your mistakes. You learn from your losses. I think I've learned. I always tell people in the sports industry, you don't learn from winning. Winning becomes habitual, and you just, it's like clockwork. You only learn and think about things when you lose, when you've been downtrodden, when you like, I stumbled and that doesn't feel good. How do I correct that?
Yeah.
Winning is just a really good feeling.
Yeah.
So
you were never obsessed with like all like gotta win kind of vibe, or?
Yeah, I think I was. Yeah, I think I was. I think I lost. You lose marriage and friendships, and you miss out. By being so driven, you miss out on weddings and funerals and anniversaries, and A lot of athletes have a God complex. I know I did. You end up getting to a stage where you get so comfortable in that realm that you realize you're human and you got to figure some stuff out.
Wow.
Yeah.
And what brings you down? That's what brings you down. Like all the realities of the effects of that, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Having the ego.
I think so. I mean, some people never come down from it. You know,
Yeah.
I retired from it, got slapped in the face, you know, and it was kind of like, I got to find something I love. I got to find some passion because I don't have planning anymore, you know, and you see a lot of people, they turn to different things. And so I never wanted to do that and just try to figure out what it was I wanted to do next, what I was going to be passionate about, what was going to wake me up every morning and drive me. And so, again, I have that. Like I said, I love television. I love my career, love my children. And that's kind of that's all I need, you know? So
yeah.
that's been really good.
Have you ever got hurt really bad where you thought you couldn't do it anymore? Like the worst you gotten hurt?
Like injury-wise?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a couple bad injuries. The good thing about my injuries is once I rehabbed them, I never had any reoccurrence of it.
Sick.
So my three major injuries was I broke two non-weight bearing bones in my back in 2013.
What are those bones? Where are they at?
I wish I knew. Lower back, gnarly, man. I couldn't get out of bed. I was like, holy cow, you know.
Damn.
And so finally figured that out. But again, after 6 weeks, healed, recovered, no surgery. And I went again. It was fine. I tore my calf. That put me out. My calf muscle, that tore me out. Put me out like 6 weeks. Again, rehabbed it. No reoccurrence of it. And then right at the end of my career, probably about 3 years before the end of my career, I tore my adductor.
What the hell is that?
Yeah, tore my groin off the pubic bone.
Oh my God!
Just shredded it. So I had that replaced by a brilliant surgeon out here in Santa Monica, and rehabbed it and was stronger than ever.
You get the best doctors though when you're like professional, right?
For sure, yeah.
So you tore your groin. How do you even do that? It happened.
Wear and tear, old age, and
what
then.
Does that mean as far as like life, like pissing or stuff like that? I mean, is it catheter shit like that?
No. It was good. It was,
I think of Johnny Knoxville all the time because he had something really bad on a bowl.
Damn.
And he was catheter for like a couple years.
No.
Okay.
This is it. Just
damn.
All that stuff worked and was good. It was just.
It just sounds super gnarly though.
The muscle needed to be reattached to the bone. So.
Wow,
yeah,
man.
It's painful.
And did you ever feel like quitting playing soccer?
Nah.
Never.
I had goals, I had aspirations. I wasn't going to stop.
And you hit them all.
No, I failed sometimes, but like I was still going to go and achieve as much as I could. And like I said, my tank was empty. When I finished playing, my tank was empty. I had no more left. I didn't want to play anymore. I had nothing else to give. I wanted to move on and do something else. And so I don't have like I said, I have friends whose career were cut short by injuries.
Yeah.
Right, who never achieved what they wanted to. I feel bad.
You went out when you wanted to go out.
Yeah, hell yeah.
But there was never like sometimes like, I wish I could have did that one thing in that one game and it eats at you and shit like that.
Yeah, of course, because you don't win them all, right? So
Yeah.
you get to a final of a major championship or a cup and you lose. You're like, gosh, I was one moment away from being a champion. And so yeah, you look back on some of those. Yeah.
And then what about as far as partying and were you a party guy at all during your life?
Not really.
You don't seem like it, man.
Not crazy. I enjoy partying. I'm not, but like I'm not
like a drink guy.
Yeah, I like a nice whiskey. Just
okay.
Chill. Like I'm not a rager. I'm not a rager. That like
you were never like that growing up, like
no,
party kid or nothing.
No, never. You know, the other thing is, and maybe some people have crazy stories, but like as an athlete, I was so driven to not mess up, not screw up. You know, like. Never got into drugs. I've been getting drug tested with sports and governing bodies since I was 18 years old, and I was always kind of like.
So you couldn't even if you wanted to.
Right. I was always. I have a wonderful mother, and I'm always like, God, the disappointment if I came home and she was like, wait, so you lost your career because you wanted to smoke weed? Like, get out of here, you know. So like,
you were forced to be straight edge.
Yeah, I never wanted to disappoint her, right? And that was kind of the driving factor. And then once I got into, you know, the idea of success and greatness consumed my thoughts, and so like it was like I ain't screwing that up because you know.
It's amazing you have OCD and Tourette's and you're so fucking focused, and that helped, dude. It's
well, you know, it helped
in a sense.
It helped, yes, it helped, and there's common sense. You know, it's like these dudes who make I don't know.
But you're an inspiration for people who think that it's a roadblock for them and they couldn't achieve things.
No doubt. Like I said,
mean?
A voice for the voiceless. That's my goal. And when I see young kids and they tell me they had a bad day of school, that's why I want to be the beacon for them. I want them to be able to say to their classmates like, yo, look at this dude. He's all right. He's got a bald head and some tattoos. He's like semi cool on certain levels, and like he can do it. I can do it. So like that's kind of the goal and the focus.
Yeah. Is there like I guess this might be a silly question. When you're going to have kids, was there a chance they could have it?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, there's
like
that fear. Yeah.
Yeah, and so like
okay.
my son has My son has little glimpses of it, but he's not anywhere on that level in terms of where I was. Absolutely, it scares the hell out of you when you're like, I'm gonna bring a kid into this world, and they got like I can. The fun thing about parents is you're resilient. You're like, I can deal with it, but then when it's your kid, it's like, oh, like I'm as tough as I pretend I want to be, and if my daughter scrapes her knee and she's got a Band-Aid, like I'm gasping for air. I'm like, we gotta get the Band-Aid because you got to scrape on your knee, So like, I'm terrible at that, but that's how parents are.
Isn't it crazy how emo you become?
My God,
a dad,
yeah,
and you're so sick. You have to have like, we can look the way we look, but we're fucking crying at silly commercials or like.
It's true.
It's so crazy how that changed when you become a parent. It's like having this human in the world.
It's a beautiful thing.
It is beautiful, but you get so emotional.
Yeah.
Were you an emotional person your whole life? Or no?
No, not really. I think we all have a tough.
When you become a dad, it's
tough exterior, but yeah, when you become a dad, you watch the news, you start like, whoa, tearing up. But no, it's good, man. I think it's a good thing to experience, particularly at a young age. For me, it was like I got to grow with my kids.
Yeah. One of my questions I ask is, you consider yourself a pessimist, optimist? I can see you're a pretty positive human.
Yeah. Oh, for sure I am. I like to think I'm an optimist, but are you
a realist?
Definitely a realist.
My wife calls herself.
Definitely,
realist.
yeah. I'm with her.
Okay.
I'm definitely a realist. I think I allow pessimism to sink in to drive me. If that makes sense. Yeah. So like, the pessimistic side of me is like, I don't want to fail. I don't want to do this. So I allow that to drive me. I still have a great outlook on life. When I wake up in the morning, I'm happy. But yeah, I'm definitely a realist.
A realist.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I love that. So it's like the world's not perfect.
No,
but I'm gonna do my best on my team.
For sure. Yeah,
I
think in this day and age, and anybody who's had I think we'll look back on it and say good fortune of living through 2020 because it'll have taught us a lot of things, and that's kind of like the real part of it. Like, and that's when we talk about realism. I lived in England, right? And I grew up there. I was 23 from the age 23 to 36, so I became an adult.
Yeah.
And Americans are blinded by America, and we think that we're the greatest country in the world. We might be, and everything's perfect here. And then you live outside of the States, and you get a different perspective. And I was trying to tell people, like, by the way, I'm American through and through. By the way, I love this country, but guess what? We are so fucked up and screwed up. Like, let's not pretend we're not. And it's okay that we're not.
Yeah.
It's okay that we're not. But like,
we're not
so,
perfect.
but in America, we get that a lot. We get like, I live down south, and I get people on the back of their truck. I have a Confederate flag, an American flag, and I'm like, I paid a little bit of attention in history class, so let me get this right. The Confederacy didn't want to be part of the United States of America, but now you've got both flags. We're so confused at times, man. So like, it's
internet doesn't help that either.
No, the internet doesn't help. So we're screwed up, and it's okay to be screwed up, but you have to recognize it.
Yeah, fuck, that's so true. It's so true.
Yeah.
I forgot you live in Memphis.
Wow. Oh man, yeah, it's a trip.
So as you come from Jersey too, it's just
it's
like
a trip.
like. How many years you been there for? You've been a long time.
No, well, like I said, I played overseas, and so my off-season home has been in Memphis, and so yeah.
And why Memphis?
My ex-wife is from there, so that's kind of where we settled.
Yeah.
So the kids are. That's always been, like I said, when I played, and I was playing in the Premier League, and I was playing for the national team, I only had like 2 weeks off to do, so I spent most of my time outside of there, mostly in England. So yeah, we ended up settling there.
Well, you have like any daily rituals you do every single day? You have to do it. You meditate, yoga, coffee.
Yeah. Coffee for sure.
I know. I see you on the coffee life.
God, working out. I recently, in the last year, started working with a breath coach there in Memphis. This guy, man, he's super, super dynamic. Taylor Somerville, and he's just one of the things, particularly with TS, is like figuring out moments to slow down. Like, okay, I feel anxious. I feel hurried. I feel a little bit out of control here, in terms of like my body and my mind. Like, how do I slow this down? And having a breath coach has really helped me kind of isolate those moments. But again, breathing is so helpful. But being able to control the breath helps with so many other aspects, right? So I used it in that realm, but it's taken on a life of its own, just being able to stop. And so there's when I wake up, I try and get it midday, and certainly before I go to sleep, I take 5 minutes to sometimes 20 minutes. So it's a form of meditation, but I go through breath sessions and it's brilliant.
Just breathing and all that stuff. And
Breathing, deep breathing, different versions of breathing. Yeah.
I could use some meditation, man. I need some relaxation.
Yeah? Do you do it?
My wife does it, but like not the breathing stuff. I don't know. I think that's cool.
It's dope.
It's really helped.
It's really helpful. And we do, he does cold plunges. So you're under, you're up to your neck in ice water.
I want to do that too. That's really good for you.
Yeah, It's great. Fire and ice, man, like hot, cold. And yeah, he does it. And he does, workouts in the pool with weights. So you're at the bottom of the pool, you're weighted down and you're breathing through it. So it's, it's figuring out how to hold your breath. It's great, man. He's awesome.
I've been seeing lots of my friends doing going to the sauna, then going to the ice thing.
Oh yeah.
And how is that helpful?
Well,
it shock your body.
It certainly shocks your body, but it gets your endorphins. It's an endorphin thing. It gets your blood flowing, pumping. Hot and cold helps with that. So you should try it.
I want to try it bad, man. I've been trying to find a place in LA. I'd love to go do that. Definitely. I'm sure there's some spots.
Have you ever? I'll tell you what. Have you ever done a float tank?
No, man. I want to do that
too. I'm gonna put you on to it.
Okay.
When I was in Denver, it's a float. It's trippy, man. It's like Is
this somewhere you inside something?
You're in a pod. Yeah, you're in a.
Claustrophobic.
Well, you can do like an egg pod, or you can do like an actual. They call it like a cabin, so it's a little bit bigger.
Okay.
All right, you don't have to be in an egg pod, and you just float, man. It's magnesium, salt water. You sit there, butt ass naked, just floating, like, but for 90 minutes.
Okay.
Which is crazy because it's a sensory deprivation, right? So you can put sound on, but there's no sound, no light. You're just floating.
Wow.
Yeah. You want to talk about being with your own thoughts, but again, you're drifting in and out of consciousness.
You get claustrophobic in that shit, or no? You good?
I'm out for right asleep, chilling.
Damn.
And then the light pops on, and you're like, "That wasn't 90 minutes." It's amazing how quickly time goes by.
So what's that do for your body? Being the magnesium, is it just?
Well, magnesium's fantastic for you. You know what I'm saying? And so obviously the salt water as well. It helps reset your circadian rhythm because you said your circadian rhythm works every 90 minutes, right? And so it's. I used to do it in Denver all the time. I haven't really found a place steady enough in my current world, but yeah, if you can do it out here, I'll find you a place.
Please, man.
I'll find you a place.
I'd love to do that.
It's dope.
And are you still a Nike athlete?
Yeah, yeah. Still
wow,
Nike,
that's like a dream, man. Like I wanted to. My dream is always to go to the Oregon spot.
Oh my god, you got to go to campus, bro.
I have like swooshes on my feet. I got 5 Nike tats. That's my shit my whole life.
Yeah, yeah.
I heard it's like Wizard of Oz type shit over there.
Dude, it's brilliant. Like every time I go, I've been there a bunch because obviously I've been with them for 20 some odd years.
Wow.
And every time I go, I'm like, oh yeah, it is. It's like a magical land, man. Nike's crazy. It's so dope.
So even when we retired, you're still with them?
Still with them, yeah. So I signed right at the back end of my career. I signed another 8-year contract with them. So yeah, I'm doing some ambassador stuff, and Nike through and through.
Wow, 20 years with them?
20 at least. No, since I was 18, so 24 years.
That's like a crazy dream, dude. That's something like
my kids love it. My kids love the free
they get laced up.
Free kicks.
They're probably like, yo, I want these shoes.
Oh, listen,
dropping tomorrow on this app.
Oh, man.
Can you get them on the app?
That's my daughter for sure.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Damn, so the dad, like, you're the plug.
I am the plug.
Wow.
I try. Listen, I try and tell my kids all the time how cool I am.
You can't get from Nike though.
I know. Oh no, that's the crazy thing about the sneaker culture. Some of it they're not even producing.
You're a big sneakerhead too, right?
I like it, man. I love it. Yeah.
Damn. I see you rocking those off-white Converse. Those are sick.
For sure. But the problem where sneakerheads would slap me because
you wear your shit.
Yeah, I don't care about creases. I don't care about getting them dirty. Like, that's not my thing. And people, like, sneakerheads right now are cringing listening to me. But, like, I like getting dope stuff and then rocking them and wearing them.
Of course.
You know what I mean? And, like, I don't know. There's something about that, too, which makes it feel like, those are worn in. They're broken in.
There is something going on with the culture now that I can show you on the way out. My kids are wearing their Air Force Ones till they're dead, like holes in them. You never do that in New York.
No,
you keep that shit
crispy,
like, crispy.
Crispy.
So my son's wearing these beat up Air Force Ones. I sent a picture to like one of his uncles in New York. Like, what the fuck is that? Like,
right.
That's the style kids want to do. That wear it to the beach.
Yeah,
all that.
a lot of the girls now are wearing baggy jeans and Air Force Ones. It's like such a
East
such
Coast.
a yeah.
I think I'm not gonna give him credit for it. I think the Kardashians started rocking the white on whites. I want to say, I don't know. Probably. There's somebody big in that world started doing that and brought it back because it was never like on the West Coast like it is now. Every kid's outfit is white on white.
That's the official outfit for girls now is baggy jeans and white Air Force Ones, Crispies, jeans. Yeah.
And they call those Uptowns. If you're from the East Coast, those are called Uptowns. Air Force Ones.
Kids nowadays have no idea. If you're like, yo, Uptowns, they'd be like, I don't know what that is. Yeah. You're rocking them.
Did you watch the Jadakiss? Did you watch Dip? It was incredible.
We didn't even mention him in the top 5.
Oh shit! Top 5 Dead or Alive is a great record too. It was such an incredible thing to watch, and one of my friends was there at the spot, and I was texting, and then like just the highlights and just watching Jadakiss take over the whole thing, and
Jada's
it
nice.
was insane.
Jada's nice.
But like he should have got his flowers a long time. Like people should
Ages
people
ago.
been knowing he is amazing, but now it's just like holy shit.
Ages ago.
200% his numbers went up on all streaming platforms, everything. Like I'm so happy for the dude.
Yeah,
Like it was incredible, man.
He ripped it. But again,
so professional.
His flow, his delivery, you know what I mean? It's like it's got a place in a moment in time. He's so good. So
just
good.
like you said, you see Nas wearing camo or whatever, it's Timbos.
Yeah.
Jadakiss had camouflage shorts on and Timberlands, brand new. He was just fucking ready, dude.
He was flowing.
He wasn't over the top, iced out. He was just there for the lyrics. And just seeing Fat Joe in the crowd, and like Fat Joe has a great video on YouTube where he breaks it down being there and all the different cats and people who were there, and like he was on the camera with his mask fidgeting, trying to sing along, and then his part came up in the New York song, and everybody looked at him, and he wanted to go on stage, but he was wearing really expensive outfit. It's so funny. I love Fat Joe. It's so funny, but like, that was like such a New York moment. Like it was goosebumps.
Yeah,
it was so wild, but it was so like incredible.
It's nice seeing shows in these big arenas, but I mean, for me, every now and again, like I said, we'll go back to my original story about the Fugees.
Fugees in a club,
you remember,
people.
I was living in Denver. I saw a bunch of people at Red Rocks, which is an amazing.
Oh, it's beautiful.
But like I'm sitting there watching Leon Bridges, Chris Stapleton. Leon Bridges is dope, by the way. At Red Rocks with like all these people, and you're like, I just need to be in like a smoky club, chilling, listen to this, because like that's that's how beautiful the music is.
Even though it was Madison Square Garden, they scaled it down, so it did look kind of intimate.
Yeah.
But the crazy shit at the end was like all their friends were on the stage. They wouldn't get off the stage at the very end. And Cameron's like, "Yo, get off the stage. They're gonna cut our set. We got 3 minutes." Like,
yeah.
You're not supposed to be up on stage. We're all good. Like they were hugging.
Yeah.
But it was just what came out of that is incredible. Now they're doing shows together, doing
a
tour.
Yeah.
But it was
Versus put some people on, man.
I know. I saw one today that like the next one should be Mary J. Blige and Mariah Carey. That'd be so. Jay-Z, Nas, dude, they could sell out Madison.
I remember Summer Jam when they were beefing, but Mary J. Mary J's
incredible.
Amazing,
Her new documentary is incredible.
Yeah. She's a real one.
I know, man.
She's a real one.
Such a big influence to so many artists. Like,
and
she's still like. She's living her. You know what I mean?
You talk about
Jersey right now.
She might be in Jersey or from Jersey. Listen, let me tell you something.
Naughty by Nature, so many good Jersey.
Naughty by Nature. I think you talk about Jada not getting his flowers.
Yeah.
Mary, for as dope as she is, and for as popular as she is, she also might not really have gotten her flowers yet, because like she's one of the realists.
I mean, her doc's incredible. But like, I'm so happy for Jadakiss, and so many people posting about it, and even on the live stream, every single hip hop icon was commenting on the thing.
You can't not. He was so good.
But then at the end, the hugs and all the love was just. It was a real battle, but he was like it was focused. The freestyle he did,
laser focus, man.
So that was an incredible moment, man.
Dope.
I love that we talked about hip hop mostly taking tattoos.
That's all that matters.
Because people know you for the soccer, they know your story. They can go Google and see your Wikipedia and all that stuff. I really appreciate you being here. I think I covered everything with you. Let me see.
I think we got it all, man.
It's great. I'm so happy to have you. We've been talking about this forever. So I know you're on NBC, correct?
Yep. NBC Sports.
So what exactly is that show? When is that on?
Well, it's on. You got to get up early on the West Coast. It's we're on Saturday. Well, mostly Saturdays, Sunday mornings. Every Saturday, Sunday morning, and then every now and again Fridays and Mondays. It just depends on the schedule. But we're covering English Premier League. Everybody loves it. Chelsea, Man United, Manchester City, Liverpool, Arsenal, Everton. All the best teams. I mean, the whole league. But, everybody knows those teams.
Yeah. Does that, you've been a professional person your whole life in sports, but it's a different level when you're on NBC and you're...
Of course.
All that stuff. It's like real shit.
Listen, NBC is a brilliant company. I have one of the most amazing producers, in all of sports, Pierre Moussa. He is hands down... when you work for he'll let you know you're not going to fail when you work for him. He's brilliant, and so I love it. Like I said, I'm in love with the journey. I'm in love with the show and the people. Robbie Musto, Robbie Earl, Rebecca Lowe. That's my team. They're just again 10 out of 10. So
and how long have you been doing that for now?
So I worked with them when I was living in England. So I did that for 2 years. But then obviously I was done playing over there, and then. I worked last season, and I'm back on this season. So hopefully it's a nice long journey, because I absolutely
you're loving it, right?
Man. Yeah.
Shit. Well, thank you so much. But this is great. We covered most of your soccer. People that know him Tim Howe, you can find him everywhere on social media. Is it Tim Howe 1?
Tim Howe 1, yeah.
And then this Amazon doc I'm really excited about,
I'm stoked. And
have you started doing stuff for that?
Yeah. So we've got a screenwriter. He's putting it together, and I'm obviously part of that process is helping him with
be super hands-on, right?
Fact checking, and it's gonna be crazy sitting in a theater watching somebody play my life, but like,
who's gonna play you?
I don't know.
Is there somebody you would love to play you? If you could pick somebody to play you? God,
that's a tough one, man. I
don't
know. I was young, so hopefully it's someone strong, big shoulders. No.
I wonder who's going to be though, man.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
I'm surprised that wouldn't be like a 30 for 30 in ESPN too. That's pretty cool too.
They just well, I mean, maybe we'll see.
That's so cool, man. That's exciting, man.
I'm so excited to see.
And you're still young. You're like in your 40s.
Yeah, 42, man.
Yeah,
42.
Wow.
How old are you now?
51.
Wow, man. Doing it.
Trying, yeah, it's crazy.
I'm gonna get those hand tats and neck tats before I'm 50.
You got good hands though, too. Though I think next time I see you, you're gonna have something that's.
I won't. But I'm gonna. But because
someday in your life you get before you're 50.
Right. Here's the thing. I'm not gonna nickel and dime it because when I go when I get my hands and my fingers and my neck tattooed, it's gonna be big and bold and brazen. So.
And you probably thought about what you want to.
Of course, man.
Oh, you want your knuckles.
Everything.
Knuckles is so
knuckles, everything, all of it.
Damn.
We're going there.
All right, Tim. Thank you so much for being this.
Toby,
great
appreciate
combo.
You, brother.
Learned so much about you and everything you do for the Tourette's community and OCD. It's so huge, man. It's so
Thank you, brother.
Using your platform, everything you've done to help kids know that they can make it and they can do what they like. They can believe in themselves and do what they love.
Yeah,
have that. You know what I'm
doubt,
saying? Like you're living proof.
I appreciate respect
because I didn't even know you had it. That's right. I read about it yesterday. All right. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Hello, Mr. Howard. It's Mr. Morse. We are back on the phone now. You're back home safely.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Two things I'd like to ask you. How do we meet? Was it through Luke?
It was through Luke, for sure.
Okay. I was trying to figure out when and where that happened.
We met on the corner, right? I was getting tattooed in his shop. You were somewhere, some filming. We met up at you with your son and your homies, and you were like at some show that was getting filmed, and we met at the Dream Hotel right there on the corner.
That's right.
Right?
Okay.
Where were you? Where were you?
And this was in LA, right?
Yeah.
Damn, I don't fucking know. And then I didn't tattoo you. I met you at the hotel and I drew it on you, and Luke did it.
You drew it.
Okay.
You drew it, and then yeah.
And it's One Life One Chance, right? It's OLOC.
Yes.
Sick. Okay. I can't believe we missed that, man.
Dude, when you said it, I was like, "What the hell are we doing?"
Because we talk about all your tattoos except for the one that I freaking drew on you. You know what I mean? Okay,
I was
awesome.
Like, wait. Yeah.
Was it like 2019 or something?
Yeah, 2019. Yeah.
Dang. Okay, cool. I was like, I don't remember tattooing. I remember drawing it, but
yeah, you drew it.
I gotta tattoo you one day though. I got a heavy hand.
Yeah, I bet you do. I bet you do.
All right, awesome, good. I just want to get this on recording because I remember like, did I tattoo him? I drew it on him, and then meeting you. I'm pretty positive it was Luke Westman for sure. Shout out to Luke Westman. All right, awesome. That's good. I think we have everything on record now.
Nice.
Super appreciate you, man. All your positivity, your inspiration, everything you do in the world, and to make it a better place. And so happy to have you on this podcast finally. You know,
bro, it's a honor and a pleasure. One I look forward to. When you tattoo me with a heavy hand, I'll make sure it's the tiniest of tattoos in a not so shitty place.
Yeah, maybe do like a little PMA or something. I don't know, something. Who knows, man?
Oh yeah, that'd be dope. Yeah, let's do that.
All right, awesome.
I'm down for that.
Well, I'm glad you're home safe with your fam, and yeah, I can't wait to see you again soon, brother. Thanks so much.
Brother. Let's do it.
All right, man. Take
You're
care.
The best.
Bye.
Peace.
Hey, y'all. Liquid Death's been so kind to give me a promo code. So for your first purchase on liquiddeath.com, go to liquiddeath.com/OLOC, and you get a free set of koozies with your first purchase of H2O, still or sparkling. If not, you can try it also at Whole Foods or 7-Eleven. Use the promo code OLOC for your first purchase of Liquid Death. Thank you, Liquid Death, for your support. Appreciate you so much. Murder your thirst. H2O saves lives, y'all.